Man, um, I've been lying to y'all for a while. Um, I want to tell y'all what's really going on. Um, I apologize. For, let's get into it.
Yeah, sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Look. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent thousands racks on handmade new rags. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.
What's going on? My name is Keith, and I do the Black Quarterback series. And if you like it, subscribe, and we're gonna get into it. So, the reason I'm so subdued is because I want to apologize to y'all. I'm gonna expose myself. That I was absolutely wrong about Dwayne Haskins. That's my first L on this channel. I was very wrong about Dwayne Haskins. Very, very wrong. I thought he could be the guy. I really did. I was the one screaming from the hills that why did they draft Daniel Jones for Dwayne Haskins? He gonna make them pay. I was wrong. I said he's gonna be a poor man's Cam Newton. I was wrong. He doesn't have the maturity, nor the pocket presence, nor the passing to be Cam. So let's get into this, man. We're gonna jump right into it. So we're gonna get into the Washington versus Carolina game, since that's the game I set myself up for. Let's get to Teddy Bridgewater first, then I can just let myself go. If y'all see me looking up, I'm still watching the Monday night game as Cam has been benched. So if you see me looking up, that's what I'm looking at. So Dwayne Haskins, Teddy Bridgewater was 19 for 28, 197 yards, a touchdown, and an interception that really wasn't his fault because his arm got hit and it popped up in the air and it was like a dunk. So Teddy Bridgewater really controlled the game. He really controlled the game. He did what he had to do. If he wanted to pass it, he could pass it. If he wanted to run for the first down, he ran for the first down. If he wanted to slide, he slid. If they wanted to run, they ran the ball. There's really nothing Teddy Bridgewater couldn't do against a really good Redskins offense. I'm very surprised that the Redskins offense or the Redskins defense allowed them to get away with what they got away with. So, I was very surprised about that. But they were allowed to get whatever they wanted. The final score, I think, was 20-6 Carolina. So let's get into this Dwayne Haskins stuff, because I have been holding off a lot of this Dwayne Haskins talk for today. So he was 14 for 28 and 2 interceptions. It's on-field stuff, so let's disregard that because he's been benched again for one-legged Alex Smith, and also he has been released for that one-legged Alex Smith, who might not have to actually play. So let me step back. So let me give you a timeline of Dwayne Haskins. So his first game in the league, he wins, and then he runs around. This is when we could have fans. It seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? Last year, and they can't find him because he's taking selfies with the fans.
All over the place last week in that loss to the Jets. Today, they get Jeff Driscoll for 3 interceptions. None more critical than Quentin Dunbar's for the last field goal attempt. And Dwayne Haskins all smiles.
Taking selfies with a fan. As Haskins celebrates, Case Keenum will come on to take a knee.
This is not college. You can't do that. So that was last year. So he stinks up the joint kind of last year, doesn't play kind of well. It's roller coaster up and down. He has flashes, but it's always with his running. Right? And so we get to this year, COVID protocol and all this stuff. He gets benched for Alex Smith, right? Alex Smith gets hurt, and so he comes back in. And if I'm not mistaken, he got benched one more time before getting benched permanently and then released. So with all that being said, so the week before a game, there's a picture that surfaces of him with strippers dancing like it's normal outside, right? And at this point, everybody's done with Dwayne Haskins, right? So Dwayne Haskins is released, but he's released eventually. He wasn't released till today. Today is Tuesday. But even before that, he was the best quarterback for the job, so Ron Rivera looked the other way. And that's sad if you can't beat out Dwayne Haskins for a job. Now, I say that I'm wrong because I believed in Dwayne Haskins and I really thought he could be somebody that could contribute. I thought he could be that guy under Ron Rivera. He could develop and be Cam Newton. But the immaturity is just not there. Or the maturity is just not there. You, as a franchise quarterback, are supposed to be high above reproach. But you're supposed to respect the journalists the same way you respect the CEOs as a franchise quarterback. That's what Cam is. That's what Deshaun is. That's, unfortunately, I hate to put him in this class. That's what Tom is. That you're supposed to have this way about yourself. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, even though he's a little different. The Florida boy's different. But Kyler, you're supposed to have this fervor about you, right? Dwayne Haskins has none of that. He's immature. He just what he did. He doesn't think about others. He could single-handedly have shut down the NFL season like Rudy Gobert did the NBA because he want to be out partying with strippers on game week with a pandemic. Come on, Dwayne. Are you serious? That's what we doing? Now, my friend on Twitter or my friend on Facebook said he's young, let him develop, and I get it, he's young, but you got to have more wherewithal than that. Like JJ Watt said late Sunday afternoon.
We're professional athletes getting paid a whole lot of money. If you can't come in and put work in the building, go out to the practice field and work hard, do your lifts and do what you're supposed to do, you should not be here. This is a job. We are getting paid a whole lot of money. There are a lot of people that watch us and invest their time and their money into buying our jerseys and buying a whole bunch of shit. And they care about it. They care every single week. We're in week 16 and we're 4-11. And there's fans that watch this game, that show up to the stadium, that put in time and energy and effort and care about this. So if you can't go out there and you can't work out, you can't show up on time, you can't practice, you can't want to go out there and win, you shouldn't be here.
You're getting paid to play a game. You're getting paid to play a game. Handsomely. And you can't show up and give it all your heart. And with Dwayne, you can't decide to not show up to a stripping party. Now, I heard if it was girlfriends or his female friends. Come on, man. You can't do that. Now do I think that he can play again? I think he can play again. He might have to change positions. And this is this quick sidebar. Dwayne Haskins reminds me of just an athlete who plays quarterback. He's good. He's decent. He's a decent passer. He's a good runner. But when I don't know his name, but when the other guy came in, you could tell he was a passer first. He was a quarterback first. Sometimes Dwayne Haskins, then Cam does this too. Get into this, I can run my way out of everything. Sometimes you got to pass the ball down the field. So he's been released. Do I think he's going to get another shot in the NFL? Yeah, of course. They give it, he's a high pick. Somebody's going to feel like the tools that he has, they're going to be able to resurrect his career. But it probably won't be till sometime in the summer. He brought it on himself. That was him. He decided to go see strippers in the middle of a pandemic. His poor play and just overall immaturity. So I'm not going to spend a lot more time on him. If he gets back in the league, we'll talk about him. So shout out to Teddy Bridgewater getting it done. I feel like if they would have had Christian McCaffrey the whole season, they would have made a playoff run. They wouldn't have made it past the first round, but at least they would have gotten to the playoffs. So, yeah, shout out to Teddy. Shout out to Teddy for a pretty good season. Not saying they have one more game to play, but, he played pretty well. And so, let's get into this Monday Night Football game that I decided I'm just going to cover because the game is over. If the game's not over, then I'll just post-edit and I'll say what I need to say. This game really came down to missed opportunities. So, Cam drives the ball down, gets a field goal. Could have been a touchdown, but of course, like it's been all season, his receiver dropped the pass. Then he finally do get a touchdown, and then the kicker missed the field goal, and then just for all intensive purposes, Buffalo goes down and scores 4 straight touchdowns. It's pretty much the end of the game, and Cam Newton gets benched. He was 5 for 10, 34 yards, 4 attempts, for 24 yards and a touchdown. His rushing touchdown on the ground. There's too much Buffalo. Buffalo is showing the Patriots that this is their division now. This is Buffalo's division. They're going to own this division, depending on what happens in Florida. But I don't see the Dolphins beating Buffalo. They're so well coached and so well put together. But it's going to be an interesting race for the next decade. I think Tua will be good. I think Tua's going to be good. So yeah, that's Monday night. That's Monday night. Who knows? This might be Cam's last Monday Night Football ever. We just don't know. So we have Kyler Murray here, 31 for 50, 247 yards and an interception. The 49ers just looked like they wanted it more than they did. I don't know. I got that vibe that the 49ers were like, this is our game. We're going to take over. I don't care what y'all do, right? And with that being said, Kyler Murray, well, not Kyler Murray, but Arizona in general, Arizona pretty much shot themselves in the foot. Like, drop passes, couldn't get first down, simple runs just couldn't go their way. It just felt like something was off. Something was off. That's the sense I got from Arizona today. That's the sense that I got from today. That they just didn't want it as much. Now I might be looking at it wrong, saying, "Oh, they did want it, it just didn't go their way." I will accept that too. It just didn't go their way. But Kyler Murray did get hurt. I don't necessarily know how he got hurt because looking at it, even in slow motion, it just doesn't look like he hurt himself. I don't know. Maybe he landed wrong. I don't know. But if I found out more information about it after I record this out for sure, y'all will see it before. Y'all will see it before I will, honestly. So let's get to the games with playoff So let's get to the games with playoff implications. So Jalen Hurts, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It just, after the beginning, it just looked like they fell off a cliff. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe I was reading the defenses wrong or something, but it just looked like after, because I was ready to write in here another great performance, and he threw for this many yards and this many touchdowns and everything. Obviously, I don't have his numbers here. I don't know why I didn't write them. They're on the screen now. But they started off hot. They started off like 17-0. And then after Fletcher Cox got hurt, it's like Fletcher Cox was the linchpin to the whole Eagles organization. And when they took Fletcher Cox out, it was just like the walls fell apart. I'm not sure as to what happened. Jalen Hurts has to play better. Like I said, I don't have his numbers in front of me, but I know that second half he did not play well at all. He didn't score any points out, if I'm not mistaken. He just has to play better. Only his second start, so he'll be better. He's already better than Dwayne Haskins right now, so he'll be better. I fully expect for him to play better next week and finish the season out strong. So we're gonna go from a quarterback that didn't get it done in the second half to a quarterback that excelled in the second half. Russell Wilson came in wearing the Mamba jerseys. He was serious about this. He played like the Mamba that last drive. Just this game literally came down to who has the better quarterback. Jared Goff versus Russell Wilson. I think we all know who's the better quarterback there. Jared Goff did everything to get his game away. Now, he ended up getting hurt, but it wasn't too bad that he couldn't leave the game. But he did everything in his power to get his game to Russell Wilson. Like, yeah, Jared, if I shared when the game was on, if he was here, if they still in St. Louis, I would be very mad at Jared Goff. I wouldn't be the biggest Jared Goff fan at all. So both defenses were nasty, physical. Feel like the NFC West games is super physical, good defenses. I don't know what I don't know what Seattle did to like upstart their defense. It went from being historically bad to really good. I don't. Maybe they got some injuries or have injuries that came back, but I'm not sure what happened. It was like a light switch turned on, and now they're one of the better defenses in the league. It's amazing what a bye week and, good coaching will do. So let's get to Baltimore. Now, the final score was 13-17. Well, 13-27. It was never that close. They just made it look that close, to dress it up. Shout out to Dez Bryant throwing up the X for the first time in years, man. Like, I've always been a big Dez Bryant fan. Not a big Cowboy fan, but I was always a huge Dez fan. I'm not sure why. He was just one of my favorite receivers in 2014, 2015 when he was balling. So shout out to him. Lamar Jackson, just like what I said about Teddy Bridgewater, I'm pretty much say the same thing about Lamar Jackson, except for the fact that Lamar Jackson got MVP. He played like the MVP. He controlled the game. He did whatever he wanted to. 17 for 26, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, 13 rushing attempts for 80 yards. Very, very good. And then with Cleveland losing, that puts them in the top spot in a win-you're-in situation. So the weekend couldn't have went no better for Baltimore. Just really, really good weekend for Baltimore. Let's get into Deshaun Watson. The word of this season is pain. Lights out all game. And then if you hear a spaceship taking off, that's my PlayStation in the background. I apologize for that. Just pain for Deshaun. He played well up until that point. It was just an old-fashioned shootout. It was like when you play Madden, you have the game on arcade mode, where people can just do anything, where they can run anything, catch anything, just do anything on the field. That's what this Cincinnati versus Houston game looked like. Deshaun was 24 for 33, 324 yards, 3 touchdowns. It was a shootout. That's a painful loss because Deshaun was the one who lost the game for them. But they wouldn't have been in the game if it wasn't for Deshaun. So, I don't know. This has been a really painful season for him. They done lost like 5-6 games within like 1 or 2 scores. And them just the ones I can think off top. When I do my review on them, I'll go more in depth on that. But it's just painful for Deshaun Watson. It's sad to watch. So let's get into this Kansas City game. So we have the first game I watched, which I saved for last. Kansas City versus Matt Ryan and Atlanta. Now, Matt Ryan showed his behind today. He played really, really well. I would venture to say he might have outplayed Mahomes because Mahomes was very slow, not sharp at all, not as accurate as usual, throwing bad passes. He should have threw 3 interceptions, and I think 2 of them were dropped. Yeah, 2 of them were dropped. He should have threw 3 interceptions. Very un-Kansas City-like, and they've been trending this direction. Like, I did have him as my MVP. But looking back on it, I think it might be Aaron Rodgers. But my reasoning for having Patrick Mahomes as my MVP is because his lows are not as low as Aaron Rodgers. You might say, oh, but his highs are not as high as Aaron Rodgers. I just thought that losing to Tampa Bay was a really rough loss. That's a really, really rough loss on your resume, and I just can't get over that. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have those type of losses on his resume even this season. Like, even when he didn't play particularly well today, but he was 24 for 44, 278, 2 touchdowns and an interception, and made some spectacular escape plays. So it's really a toss-up. But I think Aaron Rodgers might get it. It might come down to the last week if Kansas City doesn't even play their starters, which is what Andy Reid said might happen this week on this Sunday. Then Aaron Rodgers will win it. But if Patrick Mahomes gets one more performance and goes crazy, then I think Patrick Mahomes will get it. And also based on the fact Patrick Mahomes has a better record. He's only lost one game. So if we're going to stay consistent, the best player on the best team will get the MVP, right? So I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if it was Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. It's a tough call. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision because that's a very, very tough call. So I think that's all I got for y'all. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all. I covered everybody. We talked a little too long about Dwayne Haskins. I had to fill y'all in on how I was feeling about Dwayne Haskins. I might make that its own video. Who knows? We'll see. So that's all I got for y'all this week. Stay tuned for more quarterback series next week. I'll talk to y'all later.